Hey guys, so today I want to talk a little bit about weight and how you use weight as a measurement during fat loss. So, if you're someone that's looking to lose weight and you've been following me for a wee while, whether that's on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, you'll know I talk a lot about creating calorie deficit, making sure that you're consuming less calories and you're burning off, focusing on NEAT, training, whatever else. So, we know that you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. You have to make sure you're consuming less calories and you're burning off. That is a given. But a lot of people use the scale as an indicator to see whether or not they've actually lost weight. And I'm going to kind of tell you why I don't think it's a good idea to use the scale in the way that people are using it. So a lot of people will weigh themselves once a week, right? So let's take a 31-day month. If you weigh yourself once a week, right, 4-week month, 31 days, you are missing out on 27 days worth of data if you're weighing yourself once a week in a 31-day month. So what I mean by this is, if you start the month, right, and you weigh yourself and let's just say you're 79 kilos, right? And then you weigh yourself again in a week's time. Let's say you do it on a Monday night at 7 p.m., right? And you weigh yourself in a week's time and you're 79.5. And then a week later, you weigh yourself again and you're 79. And then a week later, you weigh yourself again and you're 80, right? You've only really got 4 days worth of data there. And now you think you've put on weight. 1 week, you're like, second week, you're like, oh, fuck, I've put on weight because I've put on half a kilo. Next week, you're like, yeah, I lost half a kilo again. And then the fourth week, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've put on a kilo, right? Now, this is why I don't think it's a good idea, because you're missing out on the 27 days of data that's actually there. So if you're going to weigh yourself and you're going to use that as a measurement tool, I would make sure that you're doing it every single day religiously at the same time and using all of the data and looking at the trend rather than looking at the individual weights that are on there. So what I mean by this is, let's just say Monday you weigh in at 79, Tuesday you weigh in at 78.5, Wednesday you weigh in at 79, Thursday you weigh in at 78, Friday you weigh in at 78.5, Saturday you weigh in at 78.5 again, and then Sunday you weigh in at 79. Like, the trend there is that your weight is going down. So you've got like 3 78.5s, 2 79s, and you've got a 78 in there as well. So we know your weight's going down there because there's more 78.5s, more 78s than there is 79s. So, pardon me. Let's just say you use that with every day of the week, and then you look at that again. So from that Sunday where you were 79, you go into Monday and you're now 78, and then on the Tuesday you're 78 again, Wednesday you're 78.5, Thursday you're 77.5, Friday you're 78. Do you know what I mean? As you go, you're going to look and you're going to go, whoa, hang on, actually, although my weight today is this weight, if I look at the trend for the week, I'm actually going down, I'm losing weight. So this is why I don't think it's a good idea to use it like 4 days of the month, because at the end of the day, you could just weigh yourself on that day. You could weigh a lot heavier on that day, and then you could literally mentally fuck yourself up because you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to work hard, you're going to the gym every single day, you're eating right, you're tracking your calories, you're following everything you're being told to do, but then on that one day you weigh in and your weight fluctuates up, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've not, I'm trying so hard and I'm not losing any weight. But in reality, you actually are. It is coming down because there's so many factors that can affect how much you weigh. So, you eating food, how much you drink. 1 liter of water is a kilo in weight. So if you drink a liter of water and you weigh 79 kilos in the morning, you're going to weigh 80 kilos after drinking that water. Like, there's so much, right? So many factors. If you've had a drink, you could you weigh yourself the next day and be heavier. If you've had, really like a takeaway, like a really high salt meal, you could weigh heavier the next day. So weight will fluctuate so much because there's so many factors that will put weight up or down. But if you weigh yourself day to day and then you look at the trend, you can actually see, right, I'm losing weight. And this is why, again, I don't tend to use scales myself. I prefer using photos because photos, you can physically see the changes. And if you're making changes and you look at them photos, you'll see that you're making changes. If you're not, you're not. You won't see any difference. But if you're going to use the scales, if you're going to use that as your tool, please, please, please try and use it correctly. I say correctly, but try and use it in a way that's not going to hinder what you're trying to do. You weighing yourself once a week is going to put a big mental issue in your head, and there's that stigma there of, oh, for fuck's sake, I've put on weight, when in reality you may not have actually put on weight. If you look at the trend and you are going up, then there you go, that's proof, you've got it right there. But if you're not looking at the trend, you're just looking at that one singular number on that day, it just doesn't count. It just really doesn't count. Like, you can't just look at it for one and go, hey, that's gospel, that's right, that's 100% gospel, because it's just not. So pardon me. If that's something you're using, guys, please, please, please make sure that you're trying to take as much data as you possibly can. Again, there's a few other ways you could track. You can use weight, you can use measurements, you can use pictures. So try and use some other forms as well. Try, if you're tracking and you're doing that, try and use other forms of data as well. So take some measurements. For me personally, like working with clients, when clients come in and they are tracking their weight and the measurement, I had a client the other week, and you'll know who you are, client, if you're watching this. She came in, right, and she has been sending me every single week. She's been sending me her weight and her measurements, right? And her weight started off the first week lighter, then she went to heavier, then she stayed heavier again, and then the fourth week she dropped like 5 pounds in the fourth week, right? But when you looked at her measurements side by side to her weight, her measurements came down consistently every single week. So what's that tell us? That tells us that her body's changing. She is making changes. She's on the right track because she's making progress. But if she's just singularly looked at the weight, which is something we have to talk about, if she just singularly looked at the weight, she would have went, oh, for fuck's sake, this isn't working, I'm just going to give up, So ensuring that you're taking as much data as you possibly can when you're looking at something like fat loss. Take some photos, take some measurements, take some weights, but make sure you're making the most out of the data that you're taking so you can get the best representation of how you're actually doing. But yeah, like, if any of you guys out there need help with nutrition, need help with tracking, need help with how to calculate your calories, I've got a free Instagram group that you can join in. All you've got to do is go on to my page at CoachNeves23, send me a DM, I'll add you to the group, and then you can jump in and you can ask any question you want on there about nutrition, about calories, about tracking, about how to calculate, all that sort of stuff. And then if you check out my page as well at CoachNeves23, you'll see all of my free content on there. I put up loads of workouts, loads of different stuff you can do in the gym, at home, with different pieces of equipment. So pardon me again. Yeah, if you need any help at all with any of that stuff, guys, please, please, please go on there, drop me a message, and I'll add you to the group, and I can answer any questions you've got, give you a hand with anything at all. Quite happy to get in that group and give you as much help as possible. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better idea about weight, using the scales, and kind of collecting data when it comes to fat loss.